lost that time.
Yeah, that's something's gone on there. So we are an hour and 44 minutes into this race. Toby Moody alongside Alan McNish and Peter Dumbreck. But Alan, thank you for helping us with the start of this race. Great start. It's boiling hot out there. I can feel the heat coming through the window of this commentary box. I think you're going to disappear into that heat in a moment's time.
Yes, going to have a little run down to the pits and see what's going on down there. I'm sure there's going to be a few smiling faces feeling that their car's very competitive, and a few less so that already have struck problems. Quite a few people having incidents that they actually probably shouldn't have had at this stage of the race.
Any surprises in the race for you so far, or about middle of the road?
Well, surprise is the performance of Porsche, I think, is better than expected in terms of being able to keep up with the Toyotas, especially when you looked at the qualifying lap that Kobayashi did. But also the other thing is Bruno Senna in LMP2, 26.6 seconds lead that he's pulled out in the last, 19, 20 laps. And so from that point of view, that's another surprise. And what shouldn't have been a surprise is the fact that the GTE program is one of the most hotly contested. This one, though, pole position car, shouldn't be in the pits, it should be on the track.
And we got Westbrook having a go. Westbrook having a go. As he gets through, gives him a bit of a wiggle, and he gets through ahead of the Ferrari. Get out of the way, says Richard Westbrook. So he's got ahead of Sam Bird. He's now got Pierre Guidi in front of him. So he's up to 4th in class for GTE Pro. Nicky Team, Darren Turner, Aston Martin are leading. So 3rd, 4th and 5th rushing past that camera set into the curb on the exit of Arnage. Well, his frustration, Peter, from a lap ago has come forth.
He's managed to make that move. Yeah, I don't know, we're into the yellow zone again now, the slow zone. So they're back down to 80k. It's right there, you see them brake hard. So there's a yellow flag and then there's a double yellow flag, and that's when they go to the 80k.
Indeed, as Bruno Senna comes out of the leading LMP2 car, and getting in is Nico Prost. It's got to be a Prost. Look at the eyes that you can see there, just like his dad. But Nico Prost got a 29-second lead handed to him by Bruno Senna.
Yeah, a pat on the back to Bruno for that great first stint, or first couple of stints. Changing over to Nico. Another set of Dunlop tyres going on that car. I suspect another hard set because of the temperatures outside.
It's warm out there. The sun has moved around towards the front of our commentary position. In fact, it's dead square in front of us as we overlook the exit of the final chicane of the pit lane entry. It's going to be very warm indeed for these guys as they get in that car. And of course, through a slow zone, Peter, there's less air going over and through the car, and the heat must just rise by 10-15 degrees just by slowing down.
Well, that's the thing, you know, the coolest time is when you're at full speed. If you come and sit in the pits as a driver and you're not going to make a driver change, it's so unbelievably hot. So you just want to get back on track and get up to full speed as soon as possible and get that air circulating through the car. So we've got the 51 in the pits now, Pierre Guidi. So we're seeing the second pit stops of the front running GT Pro cars.
Pierre Guidi out.
So that releases Westbrook, who was behind and who hasn't stopped yet. So he's now up to 3rd place. The Aston Martins, both of them, Team and Turner, both in 1 and 2.
Number 91 Porsche in, Makovici getting out, slamming the door.
So these GT cars, they do tend to be able to make a longer stint than the P cars. So generally you can do an hour on a tank of fuel in a GT car.
By the way, even though Pierre Guidi has come into the pits and got out of the car, he's got a proper wigging from race direction. Black and white flag for him for constant abuse of track limits, meaning?
Meaning that he's been using them a bit too much. He's been sticking all 4 wheels over the white line on the exit of a corner. There's several corners where you gain around here, one of them being Tête Rouge. the other one being karting, where just at the end of the Porsche curve. So there are areas where you can gain a few kilometers an hour, and obviously the officials have caught up with him. He's the first one to get a warning as far as I can see. I'm surprised of that actually, because they're very hot on that. So either all the drivers are behaving themselves, or they're just giving them a little bit more leeway. But that's the first warning. So we're seeing the 98 Aston Martin now in the pits.
Lamy out. Looks like Paul Dalla Lana, the Canadian, getting in the car, strapping himself in. The mechanic just checking that everything's all right. Tightens up the belts. In they go. The left shoulder strap going over as the Beechteen Aston Martin comes in front of him. Still in GTE AM, it is Townsend Bell leading from Rod Bell. That's Ferrari leading from Aston Martin. Third in class is Will Stevens in the number 84 JMW Motorsport Ferrari 488.
Interestingly, with the AM cars, we saw the Fernando Ruiz in the number 50, clearly the fastest driver in that car, but he's handed over to his teammate Brandella now, and he's dropped down the order somewhat, a fair bit slower than his teammates, so kind of put them out of contention now, and they've handed over to the faster pairings of Townsend Bell in the Ferrari and Rob Bell in the Aston Martin, and of course the 98 car of Pedro Lamy, Paul Dalla Lana being one of the fastest bronze drivers on the track, so that's another favourite for a potential GTM victory.
We're on board with Thomas Laurent. He's fourth in class at the moment in LMP2. Jean-Eric Verne is in the number 24, the Manor, that leads LMP2 by 30-odd seconds ahead of Nico Prost, who's second. Matthias Besch third. Thomas Laurent in the number 38, as I said, is in fourth. Big rubber going off, big rubber going on. As we have, who's that? Is that the Eurasia car? Can't tell. Okay, well, Bruno Senna did a superb job in LMP2. He's just got out of the car. He's put his teammate Nico Prost in the car. Louise, have you got Bruno with you?
He's just eating a banana, so I won't speak to him just yet.
Well,
I'll let him get his energy.
We're looking at a yellow Corvette, so it has to be a banana that's going on. We'll give you a moment. Should we come back to you in a moment's time?
Yeah,
Let me
please
know.
do. I'll just grab him.
In the meantime, as that Corvette in the GT Pro class comes up to the slow zone, that's Jan Magnussen, who is quite a way back in 9th position at the moment. Still, we are repairing some barrier on the right-hand side of the screen with that hydraulic digger device to ram the posts in after there was a coming together between the G-Drive number 26 LMP2 car and the Proton Racing Porsche 911 that at the time had Alquan Bassi at the
Now these guys on their barrier repairs are obviously getting better and better, faster and faster. We saw about a 40-minute delay in practice when they repaired the barrier there. It looks like a similar barrier repair needed here, so possibly 35 minutes, and they might have got 5 minutes off their last repair, so I would expect another 10 to 15 minutes, and it should, hopefully, that yellow zone can be gone. Looking at Marco Sorensen now, he's in the lead, Aston Martin. Well, Westbrook actually is the last one to stop, so Westbrook is actually in the lead for the moment, but the Aston Martin 95 has already stopped and changed from Nicky Thiem over to Marco Sorensen, so I would expect Westbrook within a lap or two to be able to come in, probably hand over that seat to one of his co-drivers, and Sorensen to take the lead back again in the 95 Aston Martin.
Fishy now in the Ferrari, Giancarlo Fisichella, as he makes his way out of the pits. But if we go down to the pits, Louise has got Bruno Senna.
Well, Bruno, just being congratulated. Sorry if you've heard some rude words then. Great performance.
Yeah, the car is mega. The team is doing a great job. I got lucky with the traffic as well in the first few stints, so everything is working. I think we just have to make sure that we keep our noses clean. It's a long race, so it's great to have a good first stint, but there's a long way to go. But I'm happy because the team is doing a great job, and I can feel comfortable in the car, and hopefully we can continue like this.
How do you think ahead for the next 20 hours? Are you looking now to get as much of a gap as you can?
Yeah, I mean, we're pushing not to the extreme. I'm not taking any risks, but I'm also trying to take care of my car because I know that it takes a big toll on the car if you're being too aggressive. So, yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is under control when the time for the hammer down comes in the end, and hopefully we'll be right up there in the fight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Louise, and thank you, Bruno.